Mr. Check Your Temp. How you really feeling?
Alright, once again, it's 365 Never Ending Fight. I have two beautiful women sitting here, and we're about to have a discussion on cancer. October is Cancer Awareness Month, so they're about to share their story, their journey. We're gonna tap in. Want to introduce yourself?
My name is Ann Jola Krigler. I go by Ann.
That's it.
My name is Katrina. I go by Trina.
All right, we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna get it rolling. First things first. Ann, when did you get diagnosed with cancer?
I was diagnosed with breast cancer February 10th of 2022.
Okay. Katrina, when was you diagnosed with cancer?
I was diagnosed with breast cancer February 2020.
Okay. Whoever want to go on this next question, y'all could tap in. When y'all heard the word cancer, what came to mind?
My son was the first thing that came to mind for me. Cancer is a scary word, period. The first thing I worried about was my son and my family, how my family was gonna, how we was gonna get through it as a family, because I knew my whole family had my back. So my first main concern was my son, who's off in college. With the relationship that we have, I knew that it was going to affect him more than it affected me.
Okay. Katrina, what came to mind when you heard them doctors?
The first thing that came to my mind was my daughters. I have 4 beautiful daughters. And just the thought of them saying it's being hereditary, so forth, that's the first thing that came to my mind was my children, and how do I tell them that their mother is going through such a thing? Because after hearing it, a lot of people give up and lose hope. But like she said, it's by the grace of God that you have children, and they look to you and they give you that strength that is above everything, and I know it's God that give us all that. So I'm really grateful. But it was my children. My children. How to tell them?
Right.
How? Because it was just like, really, this is for real.
Yeah.
Right.
This is for real, because I've heard it all before.
Yeah.
From other people in the family.
Yeah.
Me, I would have never thought
Exactly.
I would be going through such a thing, but God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what? How did they find it? I mean, how did they find that? How did they find your cancer? In?
I go every year for my birthday as part of a gift to myself to make sure I get my annual checkup. So last year I went. Every time I go, they always call me back for a second opinion. So this time I knew they was gonna call me back like they always do, and I just knew it was gonna be the same way. They was just gonna watch it. But this particular time, when they called me back and I went to the doctor, they took me a different way than out to leave up out of there. I acted a fool. And I told that lady, I'm like, you was not gonna tell me I got cancer the day before my birthday, and she did. So, needless to say, I took it hard, not even because it was the day before my birthday, but just the fact, like, I got breast cancer. I watched my mama go through breast cancer, and my mother's mother go through breast cancer. So, the fact that I go annually every year, caught it, because it was so very small, that by the grace of God, I didn't have to have chemo or radiation. But I had to have other things that affected me as a woman.
How did they find your breast cancer?
It was the yearly checkup, my regular checkup. So early detection is the best detection.
For real.
For real, like your yearly thing and just being a woman, and after you turn 35, I would say to go get checked out. Because one thing I was telling my daughters is it's not pain. You don't feel things. It's like it's silent. So with that being said, it was my yearly checkup, and when they found it was very small, and I went through 45 days of radiation, and the chemotherapy is tamoxifen for 5 years, so I'm actually still currently taking tamoxifen. By the grace of God, I thank God for I'm gonna say healing, because when I went back this past this October, right? In May they said it came back. I just seen the doctor the other day, and she was just like, I got another PET scan coming up at the end of this month. And she was just like, what we seen in the beginning, we don't see what we seen at first right there. And all I keep telling them is to keep looking, because I'm not letting y'all cut. No. And spiritually, I said, I cannot really explain it, but she told me, she was like, you look really good, and whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And when I get this PET scan, she said to see if I got any more cancer in my body, period. So early detection is the best detection. Just get it yearly, your yearly checkup, unless they tell you when you actually go through it, it'd be 6 months maybe. They tell you every 6 months instead of a year because of prior tests and dense tissue or whatever they say.
So question, so for what I'm hearing y'all both say that it's hereditary. It's a gene that runs in the family, right? So I'm gonna ask y'all both a question. We want to tackle it first. Have y'all ever had the conversation with y'all parents about that gene running in the family, or did they even know better yet?
I'm gonna say on my behalf, I did see cancer on my dad's side very heavy. My grandmother, my grandfather, my uncles. None of my aunts as far as breast cancer, but my grandmother. That's the only as far as the lady-wise. But I lost 2 uncles to breast cancer because I didn't even think man can get it. But to have a conversation, never have I heard of the conversation for us, me as a teenager, any time. I just seen people dying from this disease, and all I seen was people really like withering away because they didn't even have the stuff that they have today for them. My dad and my uncles was in penitentiary, so it's just like in the prison, they really don't have no health care for cancer. All of them died of cancer in penitentiary. Got out and died immediately. This was never brought up. And on my mom, I've never heard her mention nothing like that. She didn't have none of that. Only thing I used to hear her talk about was fibroids or something like that. And she died in her sleep. So, but she never did say anything about cancer or anything. And even when she passed, they didn't say nothing like that in her history. So no, but when they say hereditary, when I look at my dad's side, I'm like, oh wow. But when it comes to my children, no. And they've been tested, and they asked me to check some other stuff as far as their dad's side. Man genes, I didn't know the father genes could be so strong, but of course, like I said, it's strong on my dad's side. And here I am. But God, and I thank God for the doctors and the medicine that we have right now. Because if it wasn't for it, it's something you hear and just be like, I'm done.
What about you, man? How that conversation ever came up for us, the cancer gene, or how you ever heard that it ran through the family?
No, we ain't never had no straight sit down conversation. I can't say, I know my grandma had it. I saw what she went through when she had it. When my mama got it, she started to enforce more so, take care of yourself, eat right. But my dad died prior to my mama being diagnosed with it for prostate cancer. So with him passing from prostate cancer. We lost a cousin, a couple uncles on my mama's side to cancer. So within seeing all that, you pretty much know it's hereditary, but it ain't like we as a family sat down like it's time for everybody to go get a check. But once I was diagnosed with it and we did the genetic testing, my mom called, you know, and let everybody know, like, you know, if running the family, you might want to get checked out or whatever or so. But other than that, that ain't nothing that we was taught.
But I know, you know, even with, like I said, just looking at Aunt and Pops and Doug passing away and how cancer run, but sometimes in the black community, we like to keep things secret.
Yep.
I mean, and I think that's one of the biggest taboos is why, you know, we need to sit down and discuss. You know, I didn't see like my pop, you know what I mean, you know, when Duck was sick, he'd be in the hospital, you know, it's a secret. It's like, why is he in the hospital? And even when he died, he never, it was like abruptly just boom, like just out the blue, didn't know he was sick. Kind of had a feeling, just not even, I can't even say that.
We kind of found medicine and kind of we was Googling medicine packs. And
but that was
after he passed, like we were trying to figure out why
he never said anything.
He had a closet stacked full of drugs, like medication.
And I was looking like that before as my mom, because I felt like she was being secretive, because it's just how they...
Yeah, it's just how they move. Like,
goes on in my house, stays in my house, and
then at the same time, and sometimes you can look at it as they need to process it first. Because best believe when y'all got the news that y'all was battling cancer,
they had to process
y'all had to process it before you can share it with anybody. So hindsight 2020, now look at Doug, and I see that's why, you know, how he moved the way he moved. Because one thing you don't want is that, I'm gonna keep it about the fake love, the fake attention.
That part, and then the worrying. Yeah. But I've learned how, the look on my mom's face when I told her, I would never ever forget that. And she passed October 2020. And I was just like, I thought about telling my children, like, how?
Yeah.
And I actually talked to my mom, because I called her from the doctor. This is like everything repeating itself, and then tell my children, like, Mom, how do...
Yeah.
But I hadn't even told her. I just told her I walked out the doctor's office. That was my words. I just walked out the doctor's office because I had to sell her.
I didn't tell my family until I was certain. I told my husband because he was home with me. I think I was diagnosed and was almost a month away from surgery before I told my son. I was diagnosed in February. I had surgery in April. April the 19th I had surgery. My son was home April the 23rd. So I think I might have told him like April, because his birthday was in May. So I kind of told him somewhere up in April. And he instantly was ready to come home. And I'm like, no, this is not what we doing. Like,
he was in college?
Yeah, he was in his second year of college.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Just being close to you.
Yeah. So he was ready to come home. But the one thing I can't say is my mom having cancer prior to me having cancer made it so much easier for me. It was still cancer, but my mama prepared me for what, you know, this is, you know. And when I told my mama I had BRCA2 cancer, same exact cancer my grandma had. So when I told my mama that, she like, and repeat that. I repeated it to her. And she said, baby, that's the best cancer to have if we're going to have cancer that requires no chemo and no radiation. That was the best part of it for me, that she was able to tell me, like, she already knew I was going to be okay. My mama strong in faith. Like, we all are strong in faith, but my mama will hit them flows and pray. So we knew I was going to be all right, but the fact that, you know, she gave me that motherly, I got you. I know what you need to do.
She said pray and not worry.
That's right, and that's what we did, and we still get through it, but...
That's it.
You know what, I'm going to share a
Pray and not
story.
worry.
I'm going to share a story. I think, I don't know if you will remember this. I went to the hospital, right, one time. Went to the hospital, woke up, chest hurting bad, right? And I went to the hospital, chest hurting, and I think I'm on the phone with you, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, man, my chest hurts so bad. I felt myself doing my what you call it, a test on my chest. Like, I'm like, shit, it hurts about. I was scared I had breast cancer. And I think maybe a week later or some stuff, like, and that's when my sister, when I found out, and she found out.
Wow.
Right, and it was just crazy like that. Like, I mean, because I found out later on that men could have breast cancer, and that's why
I told you about my uncles. I was just like, men can get. They say yes, they have knots and everything, and it's just like it's not visual. But that's when I say it's silent, it's really silent, and no pain or nothing. It's certain things that be happening, but not necessarily pain.
Yeah, but I know y'all kind of touched on it a little bit, but if y'all could ad-lib some more, how important it is to get a mammogram.
Man, getting a mammogram is just as important as changing your drawers. A mammogram is so important. A mammogram is the next thing to your social security number.
For real, you gotta pretty much just take care of your body, your entire body. So you get your regular checkups. Early detection is the best detection. It can go from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. If you're getting checked out.
And I agree just on, I deal with sickle cell, and I agree. One thing about the black community, especially black men, we don't like to go to the doctor.
Women don't either, bro.
So
I ain't never seen so many women not talk about medical.
That's what I'm saying.
And then when they say, I'm going through this or that, and I be like, you just get a regular primary doctor?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it ain't just men. It's a lot of women do not go to the doctor unless all hell break loose.
Yeah. So, and that's the point I'm making. Like, 'cause it's crucial for us to, get those checkups, get those, and make sure we take charge in our health. You know what I mean? We're getting older. We ain't like we spring chickens. And so it's important for us to, be aware and have these conversations and sit down and talk to our kids on why it's important to stay on top of your health.
But those type tests to me should be free. Because a lot of people don't get those tests because they don't have that insurance.
That part.
Wow.
Part. But that's a big one right
there. I
there.
did not know that. So
that's a big part. So when you, say for instance, they get these, the mammogram vans and stuff. So when you do see them free vans like that, it's best to get it done. Because if you don't have medical, you cannot walk into a place and get it done for free.
Nope.
And you would think in the now that they probably will assess it. No.
But on your insurance, that's considered a preventative care.
Yeah.
So without insurance, it should be considered a preventative care.
Wow, that's deep.
And I feel like in reference to the black community, whereas when you see stuff like that for us free, you're not getting on there. Even like when we had it at the lighthouse, there's a lot of them kids like, no, I'm too young. Ain't no age on cancer, baby. Ain't no age on cancer. These babies are dying from cancer. Blood cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer, eye cancer, thyroid cancer, any cancer. Like they got so many different ones. It's really scary.
For real.
And it's like once you get one, they feel like you are open to any of it.
So I know y'all both touched on it briefly. If y'all want to share, how did they treat your cancer when y'all got the news? How was your cancer treated?
Well, my cancer, because it was hereditary, I didn't have to have chemo or radiation, but I did have to have both of my breasts removed because it was hereditary. By choice, I could have chosen
not to,
but come on, what sense do that make? To go back around and do the same stuff again.
I hear you.
So, because it was hereditary, I had both my breasts removed, and I also had a hysterectomy. Because of it being hereditary.
Okay.
On my behalf, they didn't necessarily say it was hereditary. I just mentioned my dad's side of the family, and I didn't have my breast removed because of that. And then also, I did do 45 days of radiation, and I'm on chemotherapy right now. A pill, it's just a pill. Okay. I don't have to have no injections or none of that. Thank you, Jesus. But for us, it's just a hormone pill. Actually, it's a hormone pill to keep balance things out for us, my body. And that's it. I didn't have no more surgeries after that, and I don't plan on having none. That's the plan, not to be having to cut no more. But then the doctor also mentioned it was like a choice, like you said, to get my breast removed or not, and I decided not to unless I really had to. And they still is not saying anything about that. It's more speaking on lump noise.
I had
I had a full hysterectomy, so yeah, lymph noise.
I had them removed on this side. This is the side I had breast cancer on, but they removed them both, and they took lymph nodes on this side.
I just got them on this breast side. What is that breast side? the left side. And on this left side, and they're supposed to preparing to get those removed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talking hereditary, and what tests did they do? A test to find that out?
I did a blood test. I don't know what exactly it was called again. I'm gonna say, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, my mama and my son literally had to go to the doctor with me every visit because I zoned out. Every time. Like, my mama used to tap my knee like, regardless of when I was diagnosed, somebody always had to go with me because
I heard you.
I wasn't paying no attention because I'm still trying to figure out why I'm sitting in this
I kept going by
office.
myself. I was zoned out, but I was going by myself.
I couldn't
was telling
pay
them, like, I don't want
attention.
y'all to go with me.
Man, I had to because I wasn't I didn't know. I used to literally get in the car and be like, Mom, what she say? And I was sitting
No,
right
I can
there.
believe it. You get in a whole nother zone.
Yeah. So
I know we kind of jumped up there, but that's why it's important to have people with you when you're dealing with these doctor's appointments, because you will zone out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I didn't, by the
you
grace
process.
of God. I was praying every time I went, but I can only imagine how she felt. I think my heart was heavy when I'm sitting in a room with the other cancer patients, for their age and seeing certain things. Like, my God, like, worse are off than you, and you like, mercy, God. Because me personally, I had a full hysterectomy too to avoid anything for us down there, and then I was just like, do away with it, go. It's all right. I can't have no more kids, so all right.
But that's why it's important. I mean, 'cause even with me dealing with sickle cell, there's a lot of times I've been in doctor offices and had all different news and different surgeries, and you know, when you went in by yourself like that, you know, it could get kind of, you feel super lonely because one, you're by yourself, you know what I mean, and you know, and two, you processing what you just heard, right? And how did cancer change your body and your mental health?
my mental health. I have never been on anxiety medicine. I got my first surgery. I was fine. I'm saying I wasn't fine, but you know, I tried to be hard. I had days where I just like broke down, and my mama would tell me, "Cry, get it out."
Yeah.
For some reason, I never wanted to cry in front of my husband. Never. I never cried in front of my brother. Never. But it was easy for me to break down in front of my mama. Like, my mama was my girl. That's
a lady's sister.
Yeah, she understood everything. Yeah, that's my girl.
Something about Mama buzzing.
It's something. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's a
Then, you know, I
sacred
do got my two adopted daughters that was there. They was there too. Like, them heifers ain't cooked, but they was there. My mama cooked, you know, but they was there. Like, they had my back. My grandbabies had my back. I mean, your support system got to be so strong when you're going through something like that. Oh, my body changed because I no longer felt. I know I'm a female, but I no longer felt as feminine. Because to people on the outside looking in, y'all don't know that these are not my breasts. On the outside looking in, y'all don't know I can't have kids no more. And for real, I'm 46. I could still have kids for real if I wanted to. Like, that type stuff, it messed with my mental that way. Then my clothes started looking different. So the change to my body, where I thought I had a nice little piece of change up here, then I went from straight just flat, like nothing for first couple of months. So it messes you up mentally. I mean, I still, every day, it's hard for me to walk past the mirror and not feel a certain kind of way. And it's hard for my husband to understand, like, I feel like this. You may not, you don't, right? It's my body, but to him, He supportive. He'll be like, boo, it don't make no difference to me. It don't look different to me. Nigga, you lying, bro, you lying. But that's his support. But I know what he used to, and I know what I'm used to. So it's a big change.
So what about you, Katrina? How did cancer affect your change your body and your mental health?
Mentally, I would say it was like a blur. Just a blur. When I say a blur, it's just like I really zoned out. Zoned out to the point where I was really wanting to spend a lot of time to myself in the beginning. And then as I start praying myself through it was just like, you got a hell of a support system. Don't act like you don't. Because once you get, it's like mentally you get in your head and start thinking negative about myself, nobody by myself. And that's a story. Yeah. But to know that from the radiation piece, with the surgery, I'm gonna say the outbalance, because my chest is different sizes. So that's what made me feel like unbalanced. Look, putting on my brows, and you got extra room on this side versus this side. And if, like looking in the mirror, I see it every day. But then I thank God that I didn't have to have removed. Like it may be, but you would have to know my body. And look at my body, and because you can't look and tell that, but you know, like it's a scar right here that I know is permanent, and I see like somebody snatch something out of one side of my breast, and I again feel like lumps at it when I put on my clothes sometimes, and the medicine, for as the chemo medicine, I'm gonna say, balancing my hormones. That helped along with taking my regular vitamins to finish out.
That's these hot flashes.
Say it, sir.
From this hysterectomy.
Say that. You and me both. I'm taking
that they gave me. I had a hysterectomy 4 days later, Lord. I woke up next to my husband. I said, bruh, you got a fever. He said, nah, boo, that's you. I was sweating. I went into hot flashes 4 days later. I'm disrespectful. I know a man made these up. It'd be bad.
No. You be taking off like you really be in a place where you just like want to take everything off. And I say everything, like everything.
That. You can
everything. I don't care what you got on. It could be light, but you really want to take it all off. I'm taking some pills for that, and it's actually working. It's called blossoming. Have you ever heard of that? It's called blossoming, and it's working. You gotta take it every day. It's some different herbs in there.
If it has estrogen in it, I can't take anything with estrogen because my cancer was estrogen.
I'll check.
Yeah. So that's a lot. I gotta watch for a lot of stuff now. I gotta read labels.
Oh, you already know. That's for real.
Yeah.
So the reason I say for is mental health, because one thing I do understand. Dealing with sickle cell, right? You know how it affects my mental health on a regular, right?
I had to get therapy. I didn't even mention that. I definitely had to get therapy.
Yeah, I mean it's crucial because it's y'all gonna forever be affected by cancer, right? Even though you ain't even battling it no more. The residue of the word, the residue of the procedure. The residue of the fight, it sits in your mental health.
Definitely.
So anytime you might feel something, you might, anything could trigger you.
I'm not doing my tea, y'all.
Like,
tea. Oh my God, I don't want it now.
But anything like that for us, things like that affects you, especially when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. You see what I'm saying? It's like, for us with me, when dealing with the blood clot, my right face swelled up. And it was times where, that was the reason why I even started growing my hair, because I was trying to disguise it, right? But you gotta go through the process and go through the fight to realize that it get greater later. You know what I mean? Now, in the midst of the fight, it's like, you banging. You know what I mean? You don't know what's gonna happen. There's a lot of times where I was ready to tap mentally, like scared.
Looking as if like you don't see no results.
Scared it was to the point I was scared to sleep. I would stay up just to pass out.
I heard you.
Yeah, I mean, but the power in just knowing that it will get greater later. It always get greater later. If it's meant to be, it is what it is. At some point, when you go through a fight for so long, you get to a phase in your life like, hey, shit, fuck it. What's gonna be, gonna be. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna stop living no more. Let's get back to the scheduled program, which is put one foot in front of the other.
Because you'll get thrown off.
It will throw you off. It throws you off. You know what I mean? It's just to the point, you know. But that's why I say, that's why I want to ask you, how did it affect your mental health? Because I know how sickle cell affects my mental health on the regular. You know what I mean? You know, but like I said, but you know.
I had to talk to somebody. And like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely like looking into, since I lost my job, like I've really looked into like more therapy because it's like, I feel like I'm relieved. I feel relieved because it's been such a long time. And I'm like, thank you, God, because I would have never quit. I would have never quit.
Yeah.
But God is like, I need you to be in a place where you can work for me.
Yeah.
And be flexible.
Yeah.
So
And that
I'm
job is
okay.
stressful.
I'm okay with the now, and then everything that I'm going through. As far as my appointments and everything, I don't have to call off or none of that.
Right.
And I thank God for just doing that. I would never quit. I was so comfortable in that place and being in a place to help others. And I'm like, okay, who gonna help the helper? Because I've always been in a place to help people. And I'm like, who gonna help me? God.
Better know it. Gotta
Been
say
keeping
that.
me because I don't plan on going back to work. I'm trying to position myself for greater things while I'm able to flex and do the necessary training and stuff I need to do to move forward.
The reason I started doing podcasts was because I got tired of battling in my head, right?
It's a battle.
Because now I have to speak about it. And the reason why people cry when they speak about a battle that they in is because they don't speak about it enough.
Yeah.
When you speak about it more, it becomes second nature and it help you move on. Because as long as you sitting in your head breaking shit down like, damn, why woo this and woo that. You know what I mean? That's an internal fight.
Okay.
It's gonna blurt out one way or the other with an attitude, cussing somebody out,
Yeah.
yelling, fussing, and guess what? That ain't even healthy.
You know,
Because you're taking your body
all
temperature
that
from 0
negative
to 100.
energy real quick.
You see what I'm saying? So
Real
that's
quick.
the reason why it's healthy to speak. You know what I mean? It's healthy to take your break no matter who around.
And it's okay
if
to
it's
cry.
time to sit down, it's time to sit down.
That
You
part.
can't move, you don't move.
That part.
They're gonna have to figure it out.
And I had days at work
Like, I
like
mean,
that. You know
I
I did. I
already
had
know.
moments it was just like,
That's
what
what
I'm here
I'm
for?
saying. You gotta cater to yourself first. Like I've been fighting sickle cells, man, since I can remember. Like, and that's one thing I've learned. Like I know how to take action for me. I know when it's my time to cater to myself, and I ain't apologetic for it. You know what I mean?
that's the piece that I had to get together. To do it and not apologize for it. Self-care is the best care. And raising these kids, I've always taught them that part right there. Don't you let nobody disturb your peace. You have to shut it down, turn the phone off.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes.
Do not disturb whatever you
There
need
it
to do.
is.
And guess what? I make it hard for myself, but I'm doing better
Yeah.
in reference to taking heed what I'm telling you, telling myself.
Right.
Because a lot of times I struggle with that. Like I can speak life over you like crazy, sister, and be like, what's going on right here?
Right.
We always can give the best advice, but it's hard to take on nobody. I already know.
Like I'm finna eat
we
this
always
up.
guilty for it.
Because I speak life. Like I'm gonna eat this life that I'm speaking
Yeah.
to others. Feed it to myself because I am able to speak life over myself
Yes.
and not wait on nobody else because what I realize they won't. Some people just won't speak that life.
Yeah. So we're going to segue to this next one, right? We almost finished. What changes have y'all made since y'all heard the word cancer?
Your diet definitely changed everything. That it's like we was comfortable, and I'm saying we because like you get brought up on certain things, and we teach what we know,
Yeah.
but now we in a place where it's just like you have to, and when you change your bad habits, the transition goes to you, your kids, your grandkids. Like it'd be a family thing because we don't want to hear this. And so if you can nip that in the bud, you're gonna nip that in the bud like right then and there. So eat right. It changed your whole diet.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh, I ain't got much to do. I start looking at certain things like, oh yeah, girl, don't slim, but size don't mean nothing. Size don't mean nothing. Okay.
Lord.
That's one of the things I am grateful for because I ain't never been like 130. I've always been like 115, 120. I've been steady 120 since I've been going through it.
Really?
When I got my hysterectomy, I had got it for hysterectomy like you too. I went in 130, came out 120. I'm like, damn, the organs was 2 pounds a piece. What's up? I came to work like these little women. I said, I feel 10 pounds lighter. Pants. What's going on here, man? What the hell? Like, oh, that's gonna disappear. Like, quit playing. Like, what? Like, wait a minute, what? What? Waistline? I ain't got no waistline. What the hell going on here? Then they said 120. I said, ma'am, I went in 130. I said, so everything you took out weighed 2 pounds a piece.
Hey, that was crazy.
I'm gonna need that back.
For
like,
real.
I'm gonna need that back.
For real.
Even though I could look at myself, didn't really see the change. It's like when I really looked in the mirror, it was just like, okay, this happened. But I felt so much better after I healed.
Mm-hmm.
So much better, because, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
A woman's body.
For real.
So, and what changes did you make?
Food, for one thing, for certain. Somebody told me I needed to eat meat once a week.
Once a week?
Like,
I heard you.
We ain't gonna say no names.
I can only imagine. They say, they shut it down. So.
Hey, bro, I'm still trying to do it.
You was lucky to do that once a week, huh?
Yeah, but I'm still eating fish and chicken. I'm trying.
I heard you. It's that chicken is my struggle. My chicken is the struggle.
But I'm gonna tell you, I eat the air fryer ain't no joke. Cause that grease, I don't do that. I eat a lot more vegetables. I eat way more fruit. My therapist taught me how to juice. I juice now.
The therapist, your panther.
Oh, what? I'm gonna tell you something. You know how Facebook will tell you about your memories? I swear, every other 3 days from 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my conversations with my brother. Like, he tell you right, wrong, or indifferent. I hate when he tell you what's just wrong.
Transparency and accountability is everything.
He gonna let you know. He gonna let you know, and I love that about him because he let me know. He also got me through a lot of my stuff too. Because again, he go through what he go through. He let me know like you need to drink this. You need to stop doing that. Like so. Food was my biggest thing because fried was my stuff. White rice was my stuff. I never been a big red bread person. Pop. Yeah. My son got on me bad about that, so I'm doing my juice and stuff. Like my food intake is better. Like that was my main thing. I'm eating better, less pop, more water. Like yeah, my doctor even told me I'm doing good. So
it make you do what it do, don't it?
you can feel the difference.
Yeah.
Some days it's just like hard. Like.
But I'm gonna tell you something. The reason I ask those questions, right? Once again, man, I've been doing this for a long time, man, long time. So when I say the changes, because changes got to be made, right? Because one of the few things I done found out, we are born with cancer cells, right? So your cancer cells are getting fed by something. And we know food is jacked up, right? It's tampered with, always have been.
The dye, the fruit, the dye that they put in there is so much.
So your diet, your movement, you got to stay moving. You got to learn how to de-stress. Don't everything don't need a response. Everything because anytime you take your body, once again, I repeated it earlier, from 0 to 100, we all know when people get mad, what happens? Your underarm starts stinking, you start sweating. Right? That's your body reacting.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that all day to nonsense, everything don't need a response. Right? So that like, you know, that's why I say the changes I had to make dealing with sickle cell. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of them. I do a lot of walk. There's times where I was laid up in the hospital dolo by myself at times, can't walk due to hip replacements, etc. And I'm praying to God when I get up on the wall. So when I find myself at home able to walk, why I ain't moving? Because if you ever feel restricted, ain't no reason for you not to be active.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ain't no reason. Like it's all about moderation. And then and sometimes don't be so hard on yourself when you do find yourself eating some meat. Just make sure whatever you eat you can pass.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna eat something,
because it be a craving.
Provide yourself with something that's gonna relieve your bowels.
The benefits. Right. I heard you.
Right.
Yes.
So, because to punish yourself for that is just another side effect.
Right.
It's gonna cause you stress and anxiety because oh damn, well, I don't want to tell bro that I'm eating. I don't want to.
I just had a hamburger.
You know what I mean? So all these. So all I'm saying is, man, one thing about dealing with any kind of chronic illness, you have to put changes in place. You have to put things in place to keep you moving, to keep you motivated, to keep you going. Because at the end of the day, you're still here.
Yes.
And you're here for a reason.
Thank you, God. Yes.
I mean, you might not look the same. Like I tell myself all the time, this is your life's resume. Everybody can't go through life unscathed. I got 2 mental shoulder, had a heart attack, stroke, went blind.
I heard you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't. To thank God that you was aware that it got found. So if you gotta ball knuckles up and bang, yeah, if you gotta bang it out and fight it out,
and you get it over
so
with.
be it.
Yeah.
And you might get up with a little black eye, a little broken jaw, but goddamn, you gotta.
It's part of that process.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what this is about, man. And this is why I want to do this with y'all. You know what I mean? Because I get it. You know, I see my sister Johnny that when I met you, you told me we clicked. You know what I mean? But because this is what I stand for, man. I've been fighting health issues since I've been diagnosed at 5 years old. You know what I mean? So I get it. And I sometimes I sit back and ask me like that, well, I'm the only one in the family with sickle cell. But then when my mama got cancer, and she got breast cancer, lung cancer, then my sister, and I had to realize was that the plan? Because I figured out how to fight. Now I gotta educate them how to fight. And I get the days she didn't want to pick the phone. I call her, I tell her, you know, from a bush she calling. Because I know what she's dealing with. That's why. Yeah, I mean, and I don't get offended because I get it. Like I understand my mama do it. I get it.
Right.
But the time when you don't want to move, that's the time to move.
Say that.
When you don't want to get up, that's the time to get up. When you don't want to go, that's the time to go.
That has a lot to do
You know what I mean?
with your healing process too.
Yeah.
I had 13 surgeries in 12 months.
I know you that.
Because my body rejected both my implants originally. So mentally, that took a lot out of me. Then to find out, like my doctor used to do tests, I needed more protein. So she used to call me like a week before surgery, make sure you drink 2 protein shakes a day. Like that stuff I never used to do, but I had to do it. That was part of making my body heal. You know, for my process to be healed. Now I'm finna try to go through it again with different processes, different changes. But my food intake is totally different. Like I make my own smoothies at home with my fruit, everything. My brother tell me an apple make
everything that you wasn't using.
My brother told me everything. An apple make everything sweet. So everything I juice got an apple in it. Like that's my sweet because that's my addiction. Sweet is my happy place.
You and me both. The apples work.
And I can't have that no more. Like so, I mean, I might have a little.
I've been doing the drinking them berry like.
And I can't stand berries, but my mom be like, I can't stand berries.
I'm like, give me the berries. Let's take the apple in it.
Oh, I love these pineapples.
Put the pineapples in it, Granny Smith's apples and different things like that. But things like that, man, if y'all want to tap into beet, yeah, kind of offset the taste. Like especially beets, you know, beets good for your blood. You know what I mean? So, you know, when beets taste like where it comes from, dirt. So, but you mix it with, you know, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
But the benefits is amazing. We're gonna wrap it up though. You know, y'all want to put something there before we get up out of here? I mean, any last remarks?
I just want to say again, early detection is key. Support is it. You can't get through it. You may think you can get through it by yourself, but everybody needs a support system.
Like my daughters, I end up going to their house with my stubborn self, laying in their bed. It was just like, don't move. We got you. We gonna cook. You ain't even finna go home, but let us know when you want to go home. Right, in a couple days. I was just like,
right, but you enjoyed it.
I did. I was just like, the whole thing was like, your kids taking care of you. And it shows like you as a mother. That's everything. I thank God for that because it was just like I kept having moments that I felt alone. But God kept reminding me like you are not alone.
Once again, man, this 365 never in a fight. You know my slogan, the fight of your life, it takes some coaching. Y'all be easy. Y'all.
Mr. Check Your Temp. How you really feeling?
Bad anxiety.